in this agreement that will ensure that this has less likely to fall apart than that agreement was?
Well, the agreement on November was to build the momentum in order to lead for a longer-term agreement, which we have today. But unfortunately, the agreement in November was very transactional, so it was like a day by day. But this agreement has a clear mechanism for the first 42 days, and there's a clear mechanism to negotiate phase 2 and 3, and all the details of the agreement will be published in the next couple of days once the details are finalized.
السؤال الرابع والأخير قناة الجزيرة العربية.
Your Excellency, Adnan Bourina from Al Jazeera. Question number 1. Do you think that this agreement will lead to a permanent ceasefire? In other words, do you believe the guarantees are strong enough to ensure that Israel will commit to all articles of the agreement? Question 2. Between today and Sunday, what will the situation be like in the Gaza Strip? And question 3, if you allow me, what contributed to the success of the mediation this time around, and what did Qatar offer this time, and what will Qatar's role be like in the implementation of the agreement? Truth be told, you had me lost because I was focused on question number 1. Can you please go over the questions again? Question number 1, do you believe that this time the ceasefire, the deal will lead to a permanent ceasefire? All right, wait here and then you'll ask the other questions later. Regarding the implementation of this agreement, first off, like I said, the implementation depends upon the parties as well as the goodwill of the parties, and this is what we are hoping. Of course, regarding the guarantees, the best guarantee would be the commitment of all parties to the agreement and the articles of the agreement. In addition, there are guarantees provided by the guarantors and the mediators of this agreement that will guarantee the continuation of negotiations throughout the first phase, while we wait for phase 2, where we will be announcing the complete withdrawal and the end of the war. A series of measures will be taken in the next few days in order to reinforce and shield this agreement. Between today and Sunday, when the agreement enters into force, what will the situation be like in the Gaza Strip? Of course, we ask that the situation be calm between today and Sunday. However, the parties recognize that the agreement requires a couple of days in order for its articles to be implemented correctly and for the engagements therein to be honored. And we hope that over the next few days, there will not be any aggressions or any military operations. Last question, what is it that ensured the success of the mediation efforts this time? What role did Qatar play, and what will Qatar's role be like in the future? As I mentioned earlier, at the end of the day, it all goes back to the parties of the agreement. We in Qatar and our partners in the Arab Republic of Egypt, at the end of the day, we are mediators. We are trying to bring viewpoints closer together and bridge any gaps between the two sides. Of course, the success of the agreement depends on a number of factors, and there are a number of variables that are happening around this. I cannot go into the details. However, as I stated earlier, in the past few days, there were some serious efforts by all partners. We were all working as a single team in order to come up to the agreement that was reached today. We had back-to-back meetings over the past 4 days. We were communicating continuously at those meetings in the presence of the Qatari delegation, the Egyptian delegation, as well as the American delegation, and of course the presence of the two parties to the conflict. And thankfully today we managed to reach this stage, and what we hope is that we begin the implementation and that the first phase be successful so that we can get to the second stage that will put a complete end to the war, God willing. What the people of Gaza have experienced is quite something. We have seen over 467 days of destruction and continuous bombardment. They deserve to rest, and they deserve to have a permanent ceasefire after everything that's been destroyed. I thank you. With that, we close the press conference for tonight.